Hey guys, it's Mike from Making Makers. Today I wanted to show you how to take wood that starts like this and then using a DIY vertical chainsaw, getting it to look like this, or this, or this, or this, or this, and within 24 hours, being able to turn it into this.
Okay, makers, let's make ourselves an awesome knife block. Now, my design is nothing much. I'm sure you guys can definitely do better. I just kind of winged it, but I was really just trying to see if I could use this prototype design that it came up with of a chainsaw mill to see if I could actually make small projects with the wood, and I wanted to challenge myself to be able to do all of this in under 24 hours. What you're seeing me do here is lining up. Once I have that first cut, I line everything up to my boards that I know are perpendicular to the saw. And if you guys decide to make this DIY vertical chainsaw, I'll have plans on my website, www.making-makers.com. Modify it however you see fit. Again, this is just a prototype. It was just a test to see if it would work, and it worked really well. So I'll definitely be making some improvements. Like there's going to be some safety improvements I'll make to it, and maybe some efficiency, maybe a change in some of the materials, but as a proof of concept, it worked great for me.
Okay, what are we making today? Let's see. Yep, we're making a cherry pie. All right. Okay, let's bring over the cherry. First thing we're gonna do today on Making Makers cooking show is we're gonna check the moisture. This is too high. You know what that means? We first gotta shake it, then we bake it. Shake and bake! Now, I like to go to 215.
Once it's dry out of the oven, I like to begin to run it against the joiner on two different sides, then go over to the planer, get that third side leveled out, and then I run it to the table saw. And I had to play around with the height of the saw blade, which was fine. I made multiple cuts. Next I headed over to the chop saw. I wanted to cut off that bottom corner, and you can see that I targeted areas where there was any cracking. Those are the parts that I cut off. It was a little bit tricky, but managed to do it in 3 cuts, and it came out pretty flush. I wanted to give it a little accent strip, and I had some leftover walnut from another project. So I made a similar piece out of walnut. And here's where I wanted to, try something a little different. I had seen some videos on knife blocks where everybody's seems to be using a router freehand. My idea was to see if my dado stack would suffice. So this was just another experiment, which is how I like to have fun. My brain doesn't stop thinking about woodworking, and I always come up with experiments that I like to try. A lot of them fail, but I'm happy to show you some of the ones that were successful. And using the dado blades, I was able to carve out a niche for the knives. That one I just did there was for the smaller knives, and here I'm making 2 passes so it could accommodate the bigger knives. I put my clamp at the end of my fence to make sure that I didn't go too far, because you wouldn't want to run it off the bottom, and it's all going to be hidden. So here I'm going to test fit the knives. And they fit fine. And now it's time for the glue up. Just to be safe, I used Type-On 3, which is food safe. And one of my favorite tools to use is the ink roller. I use that in so many of my projects. I love it. I love how the end grain turned out. I don't have that much experience working with cherry in small projects like this, and yeah, it always amazes me how beautiful it looks. It's a little bit crazy looking, but I liked it. Started out with 80 grit, and I worked through 120 and eventually 220. So the knife block doesn't fall over, I put a little 45 degree front piece that I glued in there in line with the walnut. Thought it looked pretty neat. I rounded over the corners of the knife block. I like the look it provided. I've certainly seen a lot of really rounded knife blocks. It's just a personal preference. And then I apply water to it to raise the grain, which most of you probably already know that to do that. And once this is dry, go back and you sand it. I was using 220 there, and for a finish I wanted to play around with tung oil. So to apply tung oil, a good idea is to go 1 part tung oil, 1 part mineral spirits, and it helps with the absorption and the dry times, etc. So I did this about three times to get the look that I finally wanted, and for the oil to saturate in the wood completely. And I noticed a big difference using 100% tung oil versus the tung oil finish that you'll find at the big box stores. And I'll post a link in the description for instructions on how to best use that tung oil. Here you go, folks. I am done.
Hey makers, thanks for watching, and please hit subscribe. I'm going to be making a whole bunch of videos. I'm going to put them in a series. It's going to be all DIY chainsaw mill making X. So stay tuned for what we're going to make. It's going to be awesome. And please keep sending me your suggestions and comments. It's really, really eye-opening to know what possibilities are there. So thank you makers, and I'll see you in the next one.